Welcome back everyone to another Bitcoin update. It's a weekend, low volume, don't really expect much to happen, so it's going to be a quicker update. Nothing really too crazy unless we do get some sort of catalyst event, but so far it's just been a very sideways Friday, and it seems like it will be the same for the weekend as well. So overall scenario remains the same. There's a few different ways that this larger time frame can play out. Don't really trade the labels. I would mostly just kind of look at what on the larger time frames of some of our other videos of what we talked about. But overall, a few different ways this scenario can play out. It doesn't have to be 100% exact. There's a scenario where we already topped and we're going lower as well. But overall, base case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up in a first wave, A overshooting B wave, C wave to the downside for our second wave for a larger 1-2 setup, in which we could have a third wave up, fourth wave, fifth wave, and then that could be all of our C wave in a larger degree B wave. Otherwise, all of this is technically a 5-wave move up, so that could be all of our C wave in the B wave, and now we could be going lower. Otherwise, this could be a 1, 2, maybe all this could be a third wave, and then maybe we get a fourth wave correction, and then a fifth wave up, and then that's all of the move. A few different ways that this can really play out. There's even a possibility that all this was the A wave, this was the B wave, this was the C wave in a larger degree A wave, and then we get a B wave down and then a C wave up before going lower as well. A lot of different ways that this could play out. So I wouldn't really look at the labels and say, oh, this has to 100% work out. I mean, this is a shorter time frame thing. Overall, this scenario for the larger time frame remains the same, A, B, C. So in a corrective counter trend move. So nothing has really changed with that. And at any moment, this B wave could technically top. And there's a few different ways that this B wave could also extend in a B, C as well. So just kind of something to think about. But obviously none of it is ever guaranteed. I wouldn't really turn to longer term bullish, or I guess long term bullish, medium term bearish, short term bullish, as long as we are keeping this trend to the upside. But obviously since the 1st of April, we have been in this ascending trend line. So at some point it more than likely will break. Doesn't have to. If it does break, that could be our second wave move down. And if buyers step in and get interested, we could possibly have a third wave up, fourth wave, fifth wave before going lower as well. So it's way too early to really tell for all that stuff. We'll kind of just have to wait and see. But we shouldn't really get an answer to this over the weekend with such low volume, of course, if a catalyst were to come. So if we head over to the RSI on the daily, this bearish divergence is playing out very nicely. We're really gonna have to wait and see, just because momentum is starting to die on the daily trend, or on the daily RSI, and just this large trend line we've been in. It is starting to lose momentum on the RSI with that bearish divergence. So it's just kind of something to think about. On the 1 hour, we've just been kind of going sideways and down, getting towards that oversold territory, but we're still within neutral for the RSI. It has cooled off a little bit on the hour. On the 4 hour, we are still within neutral as well, as we've just been kind of falling. So we'll kind of wait and see. Are we going to keep just bleeding off, kind of like how we are slowly bleeding off, or at some point is this bleed off going to die out and we're just going to get a drop before seeing if buyers, or a drop into support before seeing if buyers can step in and get interested again. So things are definitely getting pretty interesting right now. On the 30-day, still have way more longs compared to shorts. However, we do have this larger zone for longs just right next to us at that 76,500, just a large zone right there of high liquidity. However, if you go to the Binance chart, you can see the liquidity of the longs compared to shorts is you just have a high area right here of just a large 100x leverage orders at that 80,000 range. So keep in mind that is a reason, because what happens is as the price goes higher and higher, more and more shorts get added of high leverage, and that creates a short squeeze. So wouldn't it be surprising if we do go a little bit down to to that 76,500, maybe 76,700, 76,500. Maybe we go a little bit lower to liquidate more longs, but it's just kind of something to start to think about as well. If we head over to the heat map on the 3-day, it really remains the same. We have high leverage to the upside at 80,000, but we also have that lower boundary at that 76,000 level. So just seeing how weak the market is right now. I wouldn't really say weak, it's just kind of sideways we've been. Wouldn't be surprising if we do go a little bit lower to liquidate some of those longs before going higher as well. On the weekly chart, it really remains very base. That this 80 to 81,000 range, that's where all of the short squeeze liquidity is. So it's kind of something to look out for as well. But do keep in mind, we do have a lot of liquidity below at lower 70s. It seems like we have a lot of liquidity on the 2-week heat map as well. So if we head over to the funding rate, this is pretty interesting. Still within the neutral territory we were. Now we're kind of getting towards that negative. Price is starting to fall, and you can see funding rate is turning negative. So a lot of people are putting in shorts right now. So maybe if we start to go lower and lower to that 76,000 range and funding rate just gets more and more negative, well, then that will be pretty interesting to see. I wouldn't really say this is a super negative funding rate. It is negative overall, but compared to what you've seen over here with these larger funding rates, that's kind of something that you would, I guess, be more interested in looking at as well. Funding rate still neutral. We're negative neutral, but we'll kind of have to wait and see how that plays out. On the 30-minute chart for the open interest has fell a little bit as we're kind of going sideways. More and more open interest is starting to fall a little bit as well. So it's kind of something to look out for. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much everything what we can expect over the next 24 hours or until the next update. Obviously it is really low volume. We really have been going sideways since the 22nd of April. So since Thursday, we did have that sell-off into Thursday. And really since Thursday, Friday, we've just been kind of going sideways on the 4-hour chart. So what can we expect? Obviously, we have that larger liquidity above at 80,000, 79, 80,000, but that lower liquidity at 76,000. And then on the larger time frame, lower liquidity down here as well. So maybe we go a little bit lower, funding rate turns super negative, more and more people add shorts, and then we get a short squeeze up next week. That's a possibility, not guaranteed, doesn't need to happen. What can we expect though is more than likely it's a weekend. We can maybe bleed off a little bit more to the downside to that 76,000, and then we'll kind of wait and see how the numbers and data looks when we're at that moment. But obviously if we get a catalyst and we just start going higher, well, that's a catalyst, nothing you can really do about it. But I would expect sideways action for kind of the rest of this weekend, just low volume, of course. Maybe we trend to the downside to that 76,000 area for liquidity, but other than that, there isn't really too much happening. And it seems like the peace deal or peace talks for this weekend were canceled by Trump, so that's very not surprising to see at all. Crypto didn't really react negative. It fell a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, it's pretty much everything for this video. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.